Guys, back to the channel. In this video, we will be discussing very interesting problem. Can perfect numbers be perfect squares? So before deep diving into the problem, let's clear our basics. What are perfect numbers? A number whose sum of divisors excluding itself equals the number itself, then that number is known as perfect number. For example, 6. Its divisors excluding itself are 1, 2 and 3 and their sum is 6. So 6 is a perfect number. 28. Its divisors are 1, 2, 4, 7 and 14. So its sum is 28. So 28 is a perfect number. So how can we compare perfect numbers and perfect squares? Let's look at the properties of sum of divisors of a perfect square. Let's take an example. 36. It's 6 square. We also can write it as 2 square into 3 square as a prime factorization. Its divisors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18 and 36. Now we can rewrite these divisors in different format as a power of 2's and 3's. For example, 1 can be written as 2 raised to 0 into 3 raised to 0, 2 as 2 raised to 1 into 3 raised to 0, 3 as 3 raised to 1 into 2 raised to 0 and so on. So this 2 raised to x into 3 raised to y, where x is between 0 to 2 and y is also between 0 to 2. So if we want to calculate its sum, we can simplify as 2 raised to 0 plus 2 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 2 into 3 raised to 0 plus 3 raised to 1 plus 3 raised to 2. If we multiply any of the numbers from this bracket and this bracket, it will produce a divisor of 36. For example, 2 raised to 1 into 3 raised to 1 is a 6, which is divisor. 2 square into 3 square is 36, which is also a divisor. 2 raised to 0 into 3 raised to 1 is 3, which is also a divisor. So this is a formula for sum of divisors. Now, good thing to notice here is, because this is a perfect square, these powers are even. As these powers are even, each bracket in the perfect square will be odd. Why? Because always the first term in the bracket is 1 and each pair of terms 2 plus 4, this is even plus even is even. Also here 3 plus 9, 12. So sum of these two terms is even. So each consecutive pair of terms, sum is even and first term is 1. So each bracket would sum up to an odd number. As each bracket sums up to an odd number, product of these brackets will be odd number. So we can just say that like sum of divisors of perfect square will be an odd number. This is our result 1. Sum of divisors of a perfect square is an odd number. Now let's look at sum of divisors of a perfect number. So perfect number by definition is that sum of divisor excluding itself is number. So sum of divisors is just number plus number, that is 2 into number. So sum of divisors of a perfect number is even number. This is our result. Sum of divisors of a perfect number is an even number. As perfect squares sum of divisors is an odd number and perfect numbers sum of divisors even number, there cannot be any intersection between perfect number and perfect square. That's why no perfect number can be a perfect square or vice versa. Thank you.